Good morning, gang. Happy Friday. So here we go. See what happens on a Friday. You know how Fridays can be. So let's see what's happening today, other than rain or snow, depending on where you are. But I guess this is when we start getting the mess coming in. So anybody read the Bill of Privileges lately? You know, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution that, if we decide now that you can do it, then you can do it. With everything going on overnight, finding out, Sweden has said for the first time in 200 years, prepare for war. Sweden, who's been at peace for 230 years, came out yesterday and told its citizenry to prepare for war. Yeah, there's a great idea. We find out that Biden continuing to want his war. Hey, yesterday be a good idea to bomb Yemen. The Houthis there. We got to retaliate for these attacks or whatever. So we're going to bomb Yemen. Because fighting Hamas, fighting Hezbollah wasn't enough. Let's bring in the Houthis too. Because they're such a threat. They make the JV look like Superman and Batman. The Houthis are useless. Okay, but we got to spend millions of dollars on weaponry to bomb them too. Hey, I don't know. Give Joe a little bit of time, and maybe you can find a farmer's market in Iran to bomb too. But then you add it to finding out yesterday that the second largest landowner in the United States of 180 foreign landowner, okay, of 180,000 acres in Oregon is a Chinese Communist Party member. The largest landowner is a Canadian who owns about 200,000 acres in Maine. Okay. Okay. Personal thought, you aren't a U.S. citizen. You aren't allowed to own land, period, in the United States. Okay? I don't care. It means a house. Sorry. You're not a U.S. citizen. You don't own anything here. Kind of like what most other countries do. Okay? No, you're not allowed. Try to buy land in China. You can't. Okay? Chinese, they can buy whatever the hell they want here. We see a problem with that. But the interesting part about the CCP owning 180,000 acres in Oregon, Pacific Northwest, okay? And let's not forget, a year and a half ago, the Chinese military training in Canada, in the Pacific Northwest, okay? Tie that in with China now putting new satellites in the air, okay? Against, Taiwan warning about that. Washington State pulled a nice little stunt yesterday, and this is where I say Bill of Privileges. The Democrats in the Washington legislature yesterday proposed an additional tax for, this is how they quoted it in the bill, the privilege of using ammunition. Okay. Because the current federal taxes, the current state taxes, the current everything that we have to pay on top of the cost of the ammunition in the first place isn't enough. The state says we need to add an additional tax because, we can use that money for suicide prevention and to prevent domestic violence. Bullshit, okay? No amount of taxes is going to prevent somebody from committing suicide or going to tell some methed up, cranked up, whatever idiot about beating his wife or his girlfriend, okay? It ain't going to stop it. It's just a freaking money grab and a penalty and another way to make something unaffordable that they know you're going to need because of all the actions that they are taking to get us into a freaking war, whether it is internationally or whether it is domestically. Now, we know from a few months back about the U.S. selling its basic ammunition manufacturing to a Czech company. Okay, so we have that issue. So we are doing whatever we can as a country, as the politicians. When I say we, I mean the politicians. I don't mean the people. To give up our rights of defense. But to call it privilege to use ammunition. No, the Second Amendment is a right. It is called the Bill of Rights. You have a right to own a weapon. The right to own that weapon includes the right to own ammunition to make it work and not turn it into a freaking hammer. Okay? So I went this morning, I took a look just to see what the current prices of ammo are. And they are on their way back up. They are nowhere near what they were a couple of years ago when we were paying more than $1 a round for 5.56 ammo or 9mm. But even then, you're still paying over 50 cents a round for 5.56. And I'm just talking, basics. I'm not talking green tip or anything like that. 9mm for 115 grain to find even Federal or Winchester, you're paying about 40 cents. Not talking hollow points, not talking anything. I'm talking your basic practice ammo. Okay. Those were down around a quarter, 25 cents, 3 or 4 months ago. So the price of ammo is on the rise again. And they're making it as difficult as possible for us to get it. That's a problem. Okay. Because who's still buying ammo like crazy? You think Zuckerberg and that huge bunker that he's building in Hawaii, you don't think he's got a whole bunch of ammo? They are trying whatever they can to quietly make us subservient, where we have no way to defend ourselves. It's too little too late, because I'm going to take a guess that most of us, okay, in the United States already have, those of us that are patriots, have a decent stash. Maybe not huge, but enough where it's going to be a pretty ugly day for you to try to come to somebody's house. Okay. Is it worthwhile buying more? Always. Okay. People ask all the time, how much ammunition should I have? My answer always is more. Okay. Does ammo go bad? Yeah, over decades. Okay. But like anything else, sure, you want to rotate it. Okay. You should be going out and practicing with it. And yeah, I know somebody say, but it's expensive. It's 50 cents a round or whatever it is. Fine. You know what? Instead of going to McDonald's for lunch today and dropping $20 for 2 of you, okay, go buy a box of ammo and spend your time at lunch at the shooting range and fire off a box of ammo and take a ham sandwich with you out of the fridge. Okay. Something simple like that. You can find it, but you need to practice, because yeah, it's like riding a bicycle. You don't forget how to pull the trigger, but you need to get that muscle memory built up so you can aim and fire accurately. Okay, this isn't the movies where you have, a pistol in your hand and all of a sudden you're in a 15-minute gunfight and never do you change magazines. Right, John Wick? But pay attention to some of this stuff, and again, as I always say, put the pieces together. If anything happens in the United States on an international threat basis, it's going to come from the West. Okay? The Chinese aren't going to go all the way around and attack on the East Coast. They're going to come from the West. If it's coming through Canada, because we know Justin Trudeau is just as much in a bag with China as Joe Biden is, okay? Trudeau's like, hey, China, come on in, right? You want to take over? No problem. Just make sure you leave me alone. I want to make sure I'm eating my lobsters and everything. But kill my people, no problem. Okay? Same kind of mentality that Biden has. The Californians, the Oregonians, the Washingtonians, whatever. Hey, we're liberal. We want to wear our pink hats. They'll get steamrolled. Okay. Once, of course, you get off the coast and you get into central and eastern Oregon, central and eastern Washington, then they're going to have a problem. But going through Portland, going through Seattle, going through San Francisco, get out of my way there, Nancy boy, is pretty much all the Chinese are going to have to do until they get to us. But this is what the Democrat Party in Washington has now decided to do, is they want to tax you for the privilege of using ammunition. I just want to remind everybody here in an election year. Everybody can bitch and say Democrats and liberals and conservatives and rhinos and Republicans. They can put those labels on everybody. In this country, there are two. That is it. Two parties. Patriots and traitors. Which side are you on? Well out.